Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator on Viewer Wednesday. So thank you so much to the person who sent me this replay. Their name is down in the description. And again, if you have a replay that you want to send it to me at strategiclaunchreplays@gmail.com. Email is in the description as well. We will start with Team 1's introductions on the northeastern side of the map, and ending with Team 2's introductions on the southwestern side of the map. Taking a look at Team 1, let's go backline. We have in Batman Gray, it is Iceball playing as a UEF. He is a 1200. Going clockwise southward, we have in Chevy Crimson, it is Octpuck. He's playing as a UEF. He's a 2000 rated player. He is the highest rated player on Team 1, and he's tied for the highest rated player on his team. To his west in Stitch Blue, it is Korn playing as a Cybran. He is a 1500. To his northwest, we have in Emerald Green, it is Mutalal playing as a Seraphim. He is a 1200. And to his north, rounding out Team 1, we have in lightish red pink, just making sure I confirm with Team 2's player, that is Barbie Pink. It is Velarone playing as an Aeon. He is a 1700. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have two UEF, a Cybran, a Seraphim, and an Aeon, which means Team 1 has all of the factions on their side of the map. Taking a look at Team 2's regular side player, we have in Barbie Pink, it is Squeeler playing as an Aeon. He is a 1300. In Forest Green, the best color in all Supreme Commanderdom, it is faffing off in Aeon, ACU there. He is a 1700. In Tropical Ocean Blue to his east, it is Artifacts playing as a Cybran. He is a 1300. In Regal Purple to his southeast, it is Ecotan. He's playing as a Cybran as well as a 1400. And rounding out Team 2's lineup in Imperial Gray, it is Yoji playing as a Cybran. He is a 2000 rated player. He is the highest rated player on Team 2 and tied with Octpuck for highest rated player overall. So the Team 2 side of the map, they have three Cybrans and two Aeons, so no Seraphim and no UEF tech for Team 2, but of course they make it up for it with having more Cybrans and more Aeons. And for this 10-player game, let's take a look at the reclaim situation before they scoop it all up. Currently sitting at 14,000 mass and reclaim, which makes it 1.4k mass per player. Definitely worth writing home about. And the map in terms of the reclaim is really spread out. There's, I'd say maybe about a 600 there. There's another, 250, 250, 250 there. So there's a little bit of clumpage going on there. But realistically, this is I think one major point of congestion, just fighting over in the middle of the map for these two teams. We already see movement out from players moving in that direction already. But besides that, there's really no 1,000 or 2,000, any of those big reclaim clumpage. So pretty much a lot of players will get a nice little hefty amount of mass to help jumpstart their ecos. And taking a look at the additional mixes on the map for both teams to grab, we'll take a look at Team 1 side of the map. There are two quad mix positions in the southern side of the map, a twin in the middle, and then two quad mixes on the more northern side. So everybody's going to get a little bit of an expansion, at least if everything was divvied up evenly, but it looks like Team 1's Korn gets both the middle and the southwest, while Team 1's regular subplay of Iceball gets a little bit more closer to the bases for his other teammates, just because he's not as lucky with the placement of the mixes on his side of the map, or at least where he is. But taking a look at where our players are headed off to in this game, I will note there is a transport trying to drop off some units for Team 2's Yoji. It does look like he is able to drop those off, and that engineer does land, so it is not deterred by Team 1. But anyway, we have Yoji in the southeastern side with his teammate of Ecotan to the north. We do have Squeeler moving into the middle, hanging out close to Artifacts, and then we have Faffing Off moving northward. So it's going to be 1v1. Faffing Off is going to be facing off against Velarone on the northwestern side. In the middle, we have no movement outbound from Iceball yet, so it's going to be 2v1 in favor for Team 2, and that is going to be Mutalal versus those of Squeeler and Artifacts. And towards the more eastern side of the map, it's going to be a 2v2, Octpuck and Korn versus Ecotan and Yoji. I'm definitely going to be watching out this southeastern side as well. because those are where the highest rated players are currently. They could always move, but for now that's where they are, and they may or may not stay there. T2 started on board. Mutila, first upgrade has been spotted, not done yet, but second upgrade has been started now for Team 2's artifacts in the middle. So a little bit more defensive, maybe PD creeping, maybe, but most likely defensive in nature, and then offensive, of course, in nature for artifacts. Nothing really crazy is going to happen for at least a little bit, I'd say, in the northwestern corner, just because there's a lot of territory. And players, in terms of the map, started, I mean, really far back in terms of the middle of the map. So it's just going to take them a while to either get forces with themselves or both to some sort of center point on the map on the diagonal right here. So just to watch out for that. That's going to take a little bit longer to pop off, but maybe it'll last a lot longer. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? No movement outbound yet from Iceball. He might just be sticking into the rear guard air slot position. He's going for T2 air now. So it looks like he's probably just going to be focused on that for a while. Don't blame him there, just because getting air online sooner rather than later is really, really important. Gives you a slight advantage. You might get first bomber out, and that could mean the world to Team 1 if they can get a lot of damage on the Team 2's either rear guard air slot player themselves or anybody else in the game. We do see gun is almost done, and that T2 upgrade is done. T2 PD immediately built, kind of helps secure this middle of the map here. Or at least this avenue. Kind of, again, more worried about, I'd say this one, because there are not pigeons, but there are mexes there that are kind of vulnerable. Or watch out for, of course, from Team 2's western front of faffing off. You can easily cut across, you know, that way, or that way. So probably this would be a little bit of a point to hold, or at least try to force back at a bare minimum. Eastern side, it looks like the attempt by Team 2's Yoji to land forces and keep them there is denied. It wasn't going to be like that for long, but maybe a little bit of delaying, but not by much from my estimations. Yoji going for more facilities on the front line. Same thing with Echo Tan, which I guess everybody is doing that. In the middle of the map, Squeeler going for a sensor package upgrade, and Stealth started for artifacts as well next door to him. I don't like that he's that far forward. That is the wrong pink player. There we go. This is what Team 2 can see. They don't know what Team 1's really up to yet. There are some air scouts inbound shortly. I just don't like he's that far forward all by his lonesome. At least fall back a little bit closer to Artifacts' position, and then that way there's some land forces assistance. It's just very it's sketchy. Not sketchy, just concerning. T2 started on the eastern side for Okpuk. And that's pretty much... Oh, no, T2 started for Squeeler as well. Not going for range. Not going for any of the other upgrades. Going for T2. So we'll see what he ends up doing in the middle. We do see TAC missile started on board. Mutilal, he does have that T2 upgrade on board and help load that missile a little bit faster. I will note, I forgot to mention it very early, but the person who did submit me the replay is in the game. No cheating down in the description. So no cheating. No. You have to make a guess. You have to make a guess who it is. And who sent me this replay? It's a 1 out of 10 guess, so 10%. That's not bad. It's not great percentage, but it's better than 1 out of 12 or 1 out of 16. So just make a note of that. Eastern side, nothing really crazy. A lot of the game has kind of died down. The middle of the map on the northwestern corner, it's a little back and forth, but there's not a lot of crazy shenanigans happening. T2 started for faffing off as well in the kind of more mid-east section. A little bit of shots back and forth. Lots of Team 1 units throwing shots. Either it's Medusa throwing hands or it's Mantis throwing hands. But realistically, there's not a lot of shifting momentum. A little bit maybe for Team 2. But we do see Korn is here. He's probably going to be targeting all of the Mantis first. Take out the mainline units and then take out all the mobile artillery. And still really nothing. Bomber over top takes out a radar system. Nice grab there from Velerone. Has speed and range on board, which means he's at the same range as everybody else in the game in terms of the standard upgrades for gun. He got some more reinforcements here. I was going to say probably not looking too good for Korn, but he did get some reinforcements, so there is that. And I will note that this game is a little bit over an hour in terms of time for the replay. I think it's like 102, 103. So this is considered an epic, so make sure you get your snacks, your drinks, all of those comforts, and sit back and relax. And, of course, if you don't have time to watch it all now, might as well put it in your save watch for playlist later, and then we'll watch it later. A couple of units run by against Yoji. One mech will be wiped out, and then maybe a second mech will be wiped out. We do see Mantis are inbound. The comm is inbound, and that might be the only dead mechs, maybe. The units stop moving for a brief moment. There's an engineer inbound. Maybe T2PD going to be built. Nope, that's a TMD. That's not going to help. It is Strikers versus Mantis, favored to Team 1's. Of course, there's numbers there. All the Mantis are dead. So there's 4 units left. Yoji's still falling back. T2 mechs is done. T2 engineer is about to get wiped out. Oh, trying to get him out of range. And another T2 mechs is going to be shot at. Not really great, but there are engineers nearby. They might be able to build some defenses. But at bare minimum, 1 T1 mechs, 1 T2 mechs is going to go down, if it even does go down, if the units don't move out of range. So there goes 8 mass a second for Yoji for the time being. In terms of mass incomes, nothing too crazy lead for Team 2. It's about the same, if not about 10 or so in favor. So, I mean, that's 2 mass a second. That's a Team 1 mechs at 10 mass in favor for Team 2. And the numbers again jump, and now Team 1's in the lead. So, at this point, it's a little too early to really determine who's exactly in the lead. T3 land unit online. Nice little loyalist wipes out the remaining units. And, of course, that mix is down, unfortunately, for Team 2's Yoji. Eastern side gun started for Okpuk. He's almost done with that. He has T2 on board as well. Units move eastward to intercept, and that's not really a great engagement point for Team 2 just because you have 2 armies versus 1. And unless that 1 army is very strong, good luck. We have artifacts with nano and gun online being shot at by gunships and bombers and the whatnot. It does give him more regen, 78 hit points a second regen. He's going to get up to first star efficiency here shortly, which will give him 10% more hit points. To the east, we have Mito Lao being surrounded by artifacts as forces, so we have kind of a nice little, situation mirroring going on where Team 2's comm is surrounded, Team 1's comm is surrounded. The only difference, of course, is Team 1 has gunships, Team 2 does not. And Mito Lao drops into about the mid-ish yellows. Same thing for artifacts. There are units actually moving in to assist and protect the comm of artifacts. Not looking too great, though. He drops below 5,000. We do see some attacks against faffing off. Oh, and I think that's the first combi-com action in the northwest between the 2 comms of Velarone and faffing off. Artifacts drops below 1,000 hit points. This will be the first kill of the game. Oh, he's not going to get out of there in time. There it goes. Team 2 loses the first player at 14 minutes even. And now it's a 5v4 in favor of Team 1 at, again, 14 minutes. The base, once belonging to artifacts, will go to Yoji. Might actually be gifted over to... it might go to faffing off. You probably wouldn't give it to Squeeler just because he's the air player and having to do land and air double duty. Probably not the best idea. Maybe we'll stick with Yoji for now. We do see a strap bomber inbound to Yoji's position. Interceptor is trying to catch up to it. And Bomber has killed off 7,000 mass already. So we see a mech's dead there, mech's dead there. And another mech's dead there. The Bomber is going to die, I think, in this last turn. Probably not the best turn. It actually allowed the Interceptors to catch up a little bit. It is at 1-star vet, so it has 10% more hit points. It actually would be dead if it wasn't for that. But there it goes. It does drop off the bottom of the last second. Kills off another T2 max. Probably gets up to about 8,000 mass killed. In the middle of the map, we have Mutilau versus Squeeler. Team 1 PD being built for Squeeler. And again, the missile is on board. Mutilau's comm. Squeeler's not moving. He could fire the missile and kill him off. Oh, he hasn't done it yet. Overcharge in the east. We have Okpuk going down to a kill from Ekotan. I'm going to have to check that out later on. I heard the explosion. Did not... Maybe missile strike? Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check it out later, of course. Mutilau drops below 8,000. Again, still no missile from Mutilau. It is loaded. Very surprised he didn't fire the thing. Squeeler gets another wall section done. PD were very helpful for driving him away, but gunships are inbound. Some interceptors are nearby, but not a whole lot of them. And that might be the end of Squeeler. He's going for TMD. Looks like maybe the missile did launch at him, but he has TMD, so it doesn't matter. But Squeeler's going to go down here. He'll be the second kill for Team 1, and it'll drop this game to a 4v3, because I missed the death of Okpuk over there. And that'll be a nice lead again for Team 1. It does give another base to somebody on Team 2. Looks like it goes to Yoji. So he has both mid-land and air and east land. So maybe gift over a base to make it kind of 2 bases for 2 players. Missile inbound. The TMD is... Oh, wow, I targeted the engineer. Maybe no more PD, maybe. Western side, units are pushing in from Vellerone. But now Team 2 has to be careful. Again, they have 3 players left. They lost 2 of them. Not back-to-back, but pretty close to it. And I'm kind of surprised what Akpuk got killed by. We do see some tanks, but there's not a lot. And it looks like there's actually... Oh, that's a Rhino for sure. I think those 3 are Rhinos for sure. I don't know if that would have been enough to kill the comm off, though. Maybe other units were there, and I just didn't notice. It didn't seem like there was a lot there. Makes me think it was missiles, but I don't see any missiles there. Were there missiles here? No, there's TMD. Well, you'll see it in the little corner in the top right-hand corner of the screen. I won't see it until later, so we'll see how he actually died. Vellerone pushing in, killing off the remaining forces from Team 2. And this will give them a lot more momentum to be able to move in over here. Maybe try to surround Faffing Off. Faffing Off is falling back. There are some missiles raining in from the middle of the map from Mutala going after more mexes. He doesn't have Team D online yet. Kills off a land facility. That will help deal with the engineers. But he does have T2 engineering suite, so he can build volcanoes and deal with those missiles quite nicely. But it does strike me odd that the missile wasn't launched from the comm. I don't think there was a TMD there, but now I feel like I'm gaslighting myself and being like, was there one there? Maybe there was one there. It seems like there wasn't one there, but it could have been. Units pushing in, going around the wall section, trying to keep that integrity intact. And those forces for Ekotan have been thinned out. We do see a little bit of a possible run by. We have units inbound to try to intercept. There are Titans going up against Mantis and Rhinos, so not the best engagement for Team 2. The comm of Yoji is going to move in and intercept them either on purpose or by accident or both. He only has his comm. He doesn't have any upgrades, doesn't have veterancy or anything. Overcharge wipes out one Titan just instantaneously. It's going to actually boop him. Look at that. It stops the movement. Overcharge in his face. And then the other forces from Echo wipe the other one out. So nice little interception there from Team 2's Yoji. But it does give Yoji, again, a lot of mass with those 2 bases. He's up to 360. Team 1, as in aside, Korn, he's at almost 300 at double base. Team 1 overall is in the lead by almost 100 mass. And that's partially due to, this set of mexes being down. We have more mexes still being repaired on the front line. And a couple other mexes have been wiped out as well. So it's mainly mexes in terms of being down, but there might be a little bit more lead in terms of T3 or more T2s in general in terms of mexes. We do see some Harbingers moving west where there are some PD here, not a lot of them. And eventually that amount of PD will not be enough to stop Team 1. We do see a couple of bricks online. Mutilau kills off another brick. A couple of Harbingers here from faffing off to assist. And at some point, I keep making this comment almost, I think, every video at this point. At some point, I'll release a poll about what the name of the groups of forces should be in terms of, a tower or a thrall or whatever of names at some point. Maybe it'll be after this video. Maybe it'll be tomorrow being Thursday or maybe Friday. Maybe I'll do Friday of this week and then leave it up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then maybe Monday take the results or something. Something like that. I'll figure something out. But all suggestions would be definitely appreciated. I won't do all of them at once. I'll do it kind of one by one because doing all of them at the same time, that's a lot of polls to go through. So I just do one and then like a week later do another one and then do another one, do another one. That way it's kind of a nice little, it gives people time to be able to go through them all without having to just constantly go kind of thing. Bricks, having some fun against some bricks and rhinos. Brick walls preventing incoming, well, not brick walls yet, but soon to be brick walls for Team 2. And again, with 3 players dead before 20 minutes, the game does inevitably just slow down because that APM has significantly depleted. Again, 30% of the players are dead. Some of them are still in the game in terms of being ghosts or beyond the grave or whatever you want to call them, the man in the chair. So probably helping out their team out with, say, hey, there's a thing there, hey, there's a thing there, hey, there's a thing there kind of thing. But at 21 minutes on the clock, Team 1's at 800 mass income. Team 2's at 680, 690. So we'll say make it a little bit over 100 mass in favor for Team 1. That is a definite amount to be ahead. It's not definitive, of course, but it does make a difference. Map control, a little bit in favor, I'd say, for Team 1. Main point, of course, is this quad mech position that is under Team 1's control. Besides that, there's really not a lot of mechs on Team 2's side of the map that they're missing out on. Maybe besides maybe that one, but it's in the middle of the map pretty closely, so it's kind of hard to really divvy that up evenly. And of course, comms, it's 4v3. So let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't, because why not at this point hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, it wasn't the half point of the cast, but if I don't do it now, I probably will forget later. So thank you for your patience there. A couple of bricks running out, taking out some TMD. It does open the door for more missiles to rain in from Team 1, at least at some sort of vector. Maybe this vector right here. Going north, there's still these ones here from Team 2's anyway, so that's not really going to work. But bricks having some fight with some bricks down here. And it looks like Team 1's bricks are not up to the task, because it's just more bricks from Team 2 anyways. And that'll be the end of that advance. Oh, maybe one brick will get out of there. That brick will die, but that brick will take significant damage. No forces are inbound from Yoji yet to deal with that last remaining brick, even if it's a T2 gunship or something to just throw at it. Southwestern side, Yoji still having some fun running around. Don't know exactly what he's up to yet. Looks like he's going to his original base. He's getting that Air Force online. Team 1's Ice Ball. He hasn't left his main base at all that I've noticed. He's at almost 50. Yoji is at 26. And he has a lot of interceptors, but not a lot of ASF. So Team 1 has the lead. No dominance or any sort of things yet. Trendline continues. Team 1 will be in the lead for a little bit of time. But again, we have to remember that Yoji is operating on triple base and Iceball is not. So he can pull a lot of those resources together a lot easier and just really spam stuff up very, very, very quickly. That's the death of a couple more forces from Team 1. Do see a nice little gunship in this mix. Interceptors deal with that. No sense sending ASFs because it doesn't take that much firepower to deal with a T2 gunship. Air grid getting nice and expanded upon. Looks like he's separating out a little bit. Love to see that. Looks like actually these are just engineer producing facilities, so we can keep pumping out ASFs. Team 1, how's your air grid? It's not cascadable too much just because it's a thin line, and I do like he's sticking with essentially a nice little Tetris shape, kind of like a Tetris shape. Well, yeah, it's the short L, and you have the other one, right? It's like this. Something like that. It's like an L and a P. I think it's a backwards L. Actually, it's the P. It's just faced this way. I can draw. I promise. Anyway, you know what I mean. So it's not as cascadable as it's just a big giant block, which I always say to avoid because cascading can be very, very, very detrimental very, very quickly. We do see a nice little Monkey Lord online, 25 minutes. I think it's the first experimental built in the game. No naval experimentals because there's no water. But I expect at least maybe one or two. Ooh, Megalith online for Corn. And given the distance that the Monkey Lord traveled, definitely Monkey Lord is first, but that Megalith is second. Bellerone has a GC online, or G. In this case, he's producing a nice little SMD just in case. Love to see that. Planning ahead just in case. And air grid being expanded upon. Love to see that from Team 2. No big surprises yet. Nearing on 26 minutes. So 30 minutes or so is when players really think about having to go for big, big ticket items. May have Splash says Team... Was that Team 2? Yeah, Squeeler from Team 2. Mutilal. He has Gun Nano and T2. He has Advanced Nano, so he has 260 hit points a second regen. Total of 53,000 hit points. An absolute metric ton of hit points. I think he can get up to 54,000 with the T3 Engineering Suite. Harmagers, again, they're attacking from a different vector, trying to avoid the comm. It's a very tanky comm. And, of course, with the Harmagers focused this way, and they're not focusing this way, shooting at the PD. More Harmagers coming in from the north. More PD are being built to assist. Mutilal's like, yeah, probably better that I fall back. And, of course, the AoE spread on the Oblivion PD does help with units that are grouped nicely together. Middle of the map, we have Bricks and other units from Yoji pushing in. Again, it's only Aeon and Cybran for Team 2, so lots of Bricks. And lots of Harbingers and the whatnot. And looks like Meteor will be forced back. Couple of sniper bots mixed in there for Team 2 as well, so it'll drive them back even further. And there goes those Oblivions really wiping out the remaining Harbingers, or at least trying to. GC with some T3 gunships, some broadswords, best gunship in the game. No biases here, of course, given the fact that I do love UEF tech mostly. Not everything in UEF is the best, but I'd say at least, given the fact there's 4 factions, I'd say in my opinion 60 to 65%, the best, in my opinion. Experimental, land unit, and Team D being the 2 that are kind of like, they're not as good as other things. Obviously the Team D being the definitive one for sure. The Fat Boy more being a situational thing. Bricks are inbound. Percy's are protecting the crap. I do love the mix of Cybrid and UEF tech. Get some shields in there to protect the Megalith a little bit longer. There goes the Megalith. It's down. Of course, Percy's really, really useful at dealing with high HP units. The bricks getting in around the Megalith, very important. The longer the Megalith has to turn to face the units and then fire, that's less time that the Megalith has to fire before it's killed off. If it is killed off, gives the bricks just a tiny bit more time. More reinforcements inbound, though. Probably not the best idea to keep going. It probably would have been better to keep counterclockwise turning to keep the Megalith, kind of on its toes. But looks like it's given that distance once again. Now the bricks are out of range, and maybe Yoji did that by accident. He just sent them too far forward, and now they're kind of stuck there. They've cut off the supply lines, but now the Megalith is just there. Southeastern side, Team 1 pushing in once again, distracting, of course, Team 2 with that Megalith on the front line. This force will be enough to crack the base. There's not that many bricks here. There's, again, a lot of PD, but again, the PD doesn't do a lot of damage per shot. It's very, very rapid fire in its nature, similar to bricks. That'll be the end of that base for Yoji. Western side, GC just went full send it right down the middle. We have some ASFs over top, gunship over top with some engineers on board for some firepower. GC gets some veterancy. Now it's up to 2 stars. Omnis here, a couple of strap bombers inbound. Going to drop it a little bit. GC focus probably should be on, kills off the SMD, mexes, and sensors and whatnot. We do see a GC inbound from faffing off. It will help. GC needs to keep moving, though, to stay within range of the GC from Team 1. Another mex is down. Yoji has lost a decent amount of mexes here. Lost the SMD and the Omni. We'll get a little bit of that mass back from the experimental unit, but at a bare minimum, again, he's lost a decent chunk of stuff here. He's lost this base down here. We've had Echo Town losing this base here. So a lot of losses for Team 2. A little bit further into their main line. 1.5 to 1.2 in terms of eco for mass. Team 1 is starting to really pull away. We do see Team 1's leaders in eco being Korn at about the same amount of eco as Yoji. Again, Korn has 2 bases. Yoji has 3 for now. That Megalith might have some words about that. There's also a second Megalith inbound, so that's not good for Team 2. They really have nothing on the front line. There is a Megalith, but it's going to be a while before that's built. There is another Megalith. It's going to be a while before that's built. There are some PD. Not going to be enough time, though. That base for Echo is going to go down. He'll probably lose all of that and be out of the game in terms of viability for going after units or whatever for a while. Maybe he'll go for Telemazer, but for now, he's not looking good for long-term effectiveness. ARAS being built on faffing off's come to get more mass into his coffers. 37 and 3,000 in terms of mass and power, respectively. And the Megalith now up to 4-star vet. This one newly minted. And Megalith's still going. It's in the yellow now. Yoji going for maybe more gunships or something. He is producing Aeon forces, so air to ground not great. In terms of T3, he does have some strap bombers mixed in here. That'll help out a decent amount. Probably need to go for more Spectres or something to really just get constant damage. We have ASFs inbound from Team 1. Looks like Team 1's ASFs have been thinned out quite nicely. Possible air fight, but they go after the bombers. They wipe those out. 154 HP Megalith. Yep, that is a lot of hit points. It's actually up to 165 now. It's a lot of hit points. It's 3 pretty much Seraphim comms for the most part. Oh, and speaking of Seraphim comms, Mitulao goes up against the GC from Team 2, and he's getting some assistance from engineers. It'll keep him alive a tiny bit longer, but not by much. Not enough to overcharge the entire GC's HP pool and kill him off. He had Splash on board, so it was close, but not close enough. The green player from Team 2 wipes out the green player from Team 1, dropping it now to an even, once again, 3v3. It's tied up. Not once again it's 3v3, but it is tied up. So there is that. Again, the APM hits another loss, unfortunately, for the game. But for Yoji, his original base is gone. We have Echo Tan's original base and just main base is gone. He's at 1 mass a second. Team 2's eco drops below 1,000. I think it's games over for the South team, says Mutu out. Not exactly. But it's not looking good. Just the whole push on the southeastern side, or south side, the west side, whatever, has been very, very brutal. Look at this, just carving a path directly westward, isolating Yoji from the rest of Team 2. We have Echo in the base for Yoji, or actually one of the bases. And Percy's getting into the air grid. That's not good. PD being built, but that's going to be down here shortly. And I will note that the bombers do have EMP, so it does slow down those units just a tiny smidgen. And they might be stun locking them for the most part. P-gens are not wiped out, so it's a little bit of saving of disasters there. 1 megalith is down. 1 more remains. This is the one that wasn't super vetted up. And that thing is getting closer and closer together. Cloaking and laser online. Does he know he's there? No, he doesn't. That might be a saving grace for Team 2. This is what Team 1 can see. And this is what Team 2 just can see. They don't see a whole lot. Honestly, they have an Omni online, as evidenced by all the icons they don't know about, but not looking good. Looks like, oh, look at that ground fire damage. Oh, Yoji moves. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's ground firing. Oh, at least it looks like it was ground firing. This is what Team 2 can see. Team 1, they kind of can see him with the ground firing and the not the ground firing, but the walking and the laser and whatnot. That was very close. Yoji drops roughly about 3,000. He was 2 bursts away, 2 bursts of the 2 cannons on board to wipe him out. And there's even another megalith inbound. He's producing a donut. We saw a donut up here that's almost done. So Team 2 does have air control, if not dominance. They're at 90 versus Team 1's 57. So not dominance yet, but closing in on it. But look at this. Team 1, if they take the path of just slowly move in, build up defenses, take the stuff they got, build defenses there, build the mixes up, the number go up, and the number will keep going up until Team 2 can't survive the bombardment from Team 1. In terms of eco, it was almost 3 times in favor for Team 1, but it looks like it's now it's about double. It's a little bit, maybe about that in the average, not average, but the number is a little bit of a rounding. 2 donuts online. The other one immediately transferred over to Yoji. I love that because the air player can micro all of the air stuff. That makes so much sense. Even if you had multiple air players producing ASFs, giving all of the ASFs, or most of them in general, to one player, way easier. Way easier to micro than it is trying to get 2 decent-sized armies to go after 1 target. It's just, if the player doesn't engage or, turns left and meant to turn right, whatever, it's a hassle. Or you can have 1 player do all the ASFs and then 1 player do all the gunships. That's a little better, but still it's easier to just micro everything. Sun Tzu says, go where the enemy is not, says Sun Tzu. Yeah, there's some truth to that. And 2 donuts. They're actually going to split their targets. Not going to go after the same. I'll have a donut with my breakfast, or with my my crab soup or something. Look at this. Now, usually you see it going after the same target, but because of the fact that there's nothing really in range besides maybe this base, it's kind of worth it to just do damage to both of them. Granted, it does let the mass from the reclaim Rex get closer to the eastern direction, but both of them died simultaneously there. Team 2 definitely has air dominance at this point, especially since we saw Team 1's ASFs engage. Almost 100. Ice Ball's probably about a squadron or so. Its squadron or so being 2. So at 50 or more, that is air dominance. We have Team 1 AA being built, but against the 30,000 hit point shielding, it's going to take a minute. We have another megalith. So we have 1, 2, 3. Well, technically there was 4, but that one's already been reclaimed. 4 dead megaliths and soon to be 5. It's a lot of reclaim for Team 2. Team 1 is doing really well in reclaim as well. 184 to 169. Nice. So a little bit ahead, but not by much. Total mass recruit, though, almost 500,000 at 400,000+. That is a lot. That is an idea is more than an experimental game ender's worth of mass. Granted, divvied up between 3, 4, 5 players, time-wise, all that. It's not as much as you really think it is, but totals, yes, it is that much. And they're closing in actually on that 500,000 mark here shortly. It's because it's 1.8 to 800. So they can really just break away very quickly. We have forces inbound from Velorone on that western side. And another megalith's about to go down. I also find it funny. I don't know if it's just because of the layering, the way they do the land or air units. It's really easy to see the land unit now. Because normally when the donut's over top of it, you can't tell there's a land unit down there. But I zoomed out and I could still see the M and the circle down there, which was very, very nice. It almost seems like in terms of layering, they put the air unit actually behind the land unit. So that way when you saw it from very far away, the land unit was on top. And since the air unit's icon is super big, you can still tell that there's an icon there. Granted, with the land unit over here, we have the experimental icon actually behind it because the land icon is in front of it. You can tell it's on top of it. Anyway, that's better because, again, bigger icon in the background is definitely better than bigger icon in front because then you can't see what's underneath it. So a little bit of a, it's not a rant, but it's a little bit of a, I appreciate the layering that people did with the icon. So thank you so much for that, especially with a caster like me where I miss things from time to time. Like, what's it shooting at? What's it doing down there? Why is it doing the things that, oh, that's what's doing down there. That makes more sense kind of thing. GC down here for Team 2's Velorone, and a lot more breathing room has been established for Team 2. Granted, again, eco-wise, it's 1.8 to 800. It's still not good, which makes me think two things. One, Team 1's just ecoing as much as they can to build something. Or two, no, just one. I think it's just one. And let's see, Corn, no. Nuke, okay, that's a nice little thing to see for Team 1's Ice Ball for Air Player. That definitely tracks. Air Player usually goes for those targets. Western side, Velorone, Control Ks. Nothing was nearby him. So, yes. Yes, since they went and zeroed out, that's definitely Control K. Why does the icon not appear? Why? But that is a Control K. And that is now the base transferred over to Ice Ball. Nothing in his base was going on. Maybe connection issues? Maybe? Ooh! Scathis coming online for Team 1's Corn. And remember, this is the player that had and still has the most amount of mass per second in the game. That would make sense. A lot of momentum favored him for a while. A little bit more coming in favor for Team 2 now. But that eco is definitely worrisome. Very, very worrisome for Team 2. They need to get that eco back under control. They don't know what Team 1 and Team 2 have ecos total, but I would assume, especially with Team 2's Yoji, he's probably like, well, we're producing 900, 41 minutes in. Should be about at least 1.5, 1.6 maybe is what Team 1's doing. So definitely, operating at a deficit at a bare minimum in terms of the comparison. But Nuke is outbound from Team 1, 41.5. Where is it? Okay, it's going for the air grid. There's no SMD in line with that Nuke. So that's not fun. We do have Yoji on the front line again. And the Crab distracted by the GC. So more kills here for the Comm. He's up to 11,000 mass killed. So 5-star veterancy for him. But yeah, no SMD. Probably going to rethink that. But again, that's partially because he's focused so much on land, protection and dealing with all these units. He's got to take some sacrifices. But Donuts inbound, one of them already killed off. You run those right around the edge. I think Team 2 is aware of the... Yep, they're aware of the Scathis, but here comes Corn. He's underneath shield, and those those donuts are like, ooh. Oh, and then kaboom! And go back. Sorry, I wanted to say the kaboom. There goes a donut. It's going to crash land on Corn's comm. That's going to kill him off. Gary goes. Oh, Team 2 gets another kill. And the donut is going to crash on top of the Nuke, and that's a nice crash damage there. Doesn't kill off the comm. The 5,000 shield did not save him. Would not have saved him entirely, even if he didn't have it. Or it would have. It didn't do much to save him because he would have been saved anyways. There we go. But 3 donut wrecks. That's nice for Team 1. They did lose another player though. I know the scoreboard is deceiving. because Velerone is still not in the game. Not in the game because he control K'd. So it's 1-B-3 in favor for Team 2. So within 5 or so minutes, Team 1 lost 2 players. So that momentum shift is really going to hurt Team 1 long term. In the short term, if they can make a lot of progress in wiping out a lot of the stuff in Team 2's bases. I mean, the air grid is essentially gone with the Nuke and the Scathis shooting at it. A lot of it is gone. They can wipe out this base and this base. That might be enough, and Team 1 still has it, but with that SMD going down would be nice if they still had the Nuke. So that would have been a nice little benefit there, because that's the only SMD online for Team 2. We have GCs down here. We have GCs up here. We have Donut hanging out. Yoji still holding on. He might be the candidate if Team 2 wins for MVP. Defended with his comm very, very bravely. If his comm wasn't there, that might have been a death of an air grid earlier, which might have changed things around with the donuts and the whatnot. But Scathis being online 43 minutes, that isn't going to help. Make Shield, says Okpuck. Probably talking about, what's he talking about now? Make Shield. Where? Where's Make Shield? Here? I mean, always make more shield here, but don't know what he's talking. Oh, air? No, because there's already shields here anyways. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, probably talking about his comm. Talking about shield as comm is probably what he's talking about. But let me see if I can find anything about Velerone's departure, if there's any comments about it. I mean, he's not in chat anymore, which, well, let's see. Oh, of course, if there's always a comment, then it scrolls me back. Right there, shield done. So, looks like maybe just completely out of the game. Just connection issue straight up. But you would think there'd be more conversation about it. But a lot of this, I mean, some of it is conversation. A lot of it, of course, is just the scoreboard and whatnot. Being like, hey, Master's transferred over. And, hey, this upgrade was done kind of thing. It's not a lot of active communication. Not any power for these shields for Team 2's. Oh, no, he's fixed it now. Okay. I was going to say the Harbingers don't have shields. The Harbingers get, was it 1250? No, they get 1,000. The Titans get 750, and then the Obsidians get 1250. I think I did the math right there. And then we have Megawatts on the eastern side protecting that GC. It's fine. It's going up against another chicken, so that chicken will be wiped out. I think its goal might be to just take out all of the support nearby. There's a lot of bouncers here. Not bouncers, a lot of redeemers there. There's 2 donuts inbound. All of these donuts being producing is nuts because Team 1 has an air grid. Team 2 does not. And Team 1 could easily build ASFs to deal with it, but he does have some right here. He has some right there. Probably need to group those together. There's a GC just hanging out up here. And faffing off is like, if I'm going to get a ping being like, hey, move. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I should probably move that. Moves into the site of Velerone's Control K. And GC wins the fight. Of course, the lightning symbol indicates that. I do like that there's a symbol there for that. It makes it a lot easier to be like, that is a lightning storm. That is what that is. Or ion storm. That's what that is. And it looks like the Scathis, ripped apart a ton of faffing off space. Granted, it's pretty much spread out to begin with anyways. Echo 10 still in the game, not leaving just yet. He's getting T3 land facility online, and he's producing some mass. He got some more facilities. Maybe he got him gifted over from Yoji. Get him back in the game. He can obviously build here. There's a lot of places to expand to. Are those missiles inbound? Those look like missiles. Oh, no, that's artillery. Where's the artillery shooting from? Is that the scat? Oh, that might be the Scathis shots. It looked like T3 mobile artillery is what it looked like. Donuts up here to the north. And GC is going to die to PD maybe? 8,000. He's at 5-star vet now, so no additional hit point boost. And he's trying to be delayed by some engineers. Oh, he dies standing up. Look at that. Oh, you hardly ever see it, but you love to see it when it happens. Gotta love it. 47 minutes on the clock. We have ASFs over these donuts. Donuts are going to stand on or sit on top of one another and ground fire. The ASFs and the AA nearby will be enough to kill off both of them. So that's another couple of dead donuts. We had 1, 2, 3, and then now 4 and 5 built and destroyed. Landed on Team 1 side of the map. But look at this. 3 GCs right down the middle. They ignore the Megawith, and they go straight for the Scathis. Scathis is in danger. There are a decent amount of PD emplacements here, but they're going to go for the Scathis. Not good for Team 1. There it goes. Scathis is down. Lots of PD on this side. Not lots of PD on this side. And they were probably prepping for a Telemazer because Team 2 had 3 Cyberns. Now they have 2. And T3 land headquarters will be destroyed. There it goes. And a Pigeon as well. But that's going to hurt. Scathis is down. But at this point, I mean, the Scathis might have just fulfilled its purpose and call it a day because there's really not a lot here. Yeah, there's this base, and there's really not a lot here. So realistically, that would have been worth it to Scathis a little bit, and then maybe this, and that's really about it. There's really not a lot for Team 2, but in terms of Team 2's eco, they're at 1.3 to 1.2, and Team 2's in the lead. We have a GC continuing to just bulldoze on through, the same one that wiped out a chunk of Veleron's base, and it's going to get into the air grid. I think Team 1, it's not good. Lots of spy planes. They're going to get killed off. We have Ravagers being built up there. It's going to only drive the GC that way, and you really want the GC to maybe go... No, you want him to go that way because it's a little bit more confined of a space. But we have the comm. Iceball has the bubble shield, nano, and RAS. We can't send his comm in to really engage with any sort of overcharge. There's another P-Gen dead. Again, there's that cascade coming to effect where you really can't cascade that much because you really have to do one by one by one by one. Now, if this one was damaged, this one was damaged, this one was damaged, obviously it would cascade. But the point is that you can't just have a big giant block with a bunch of P-Gens and then you kill off a chunk of them and then they all explode. It doesn't work that way with it kind of thinned out like this. And the remaining forces, there's a couple of bounces nearby. It looks like the Harbingers actually just ignore the base because they can kill off more mexes down here. Again, it's Iceball versus the world. It's still a 1v3, and Team 2 is recovering 1.4 to 1.1. And with the death of 2 players almost back to back, it's given a lot of time to Team 2 to be like, okay, let's get a front line back established. Let's deal with the Scathis. Let's deal with this, that, and the other thing. And 49 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. There goes the nuke. The nuke killed off a second time, and the T3 air headquarters is going to go down. And the GC, not great for the GC, but it looks like it might get out of range. Maybe drops below 12,000. Yeah, he's going to get out of range. Didn't get the comm, but he got to everything else. Lots of dead mexes for Team 1. Look at this huge hole right here. They have another hole over here. Again, they have a lot of experimentals running down the middle here. They have 2, 2, and 3. The only problem is because they're so spaced out, it's kind of hard to get anything going because Team 2's getting a force online here. They're dealing with these ones. They'll have a little bit of a break and then 2 more and then a little bit of a break and then 2 more. You want to send them really in all at the same time to really just bash the front door in and not let any time pass for Team 2 to get any sort of defenses online. Again, still no real air grid. Looks like air grid is being built. No T3 air. Oh, it's right here. Put that very far away from the air grid. Definitely a smart play there. And Team 1, now they don't have an air grid, and Yoji has one, which is better than not having one. He has a small one, but it's better than nothing. And that's going to be huge. 51 minutes on the clock. Again, Team 1 at 1 player left, Team 2 at 3 players left. So it's really Team Iceball versus Team 2. Map control significantly changed to some degree. I would say it should change significantly just because, that so many mexes are dead for Team 1. They still technically, quote unquote, own the territory because, it's behind their front line and all that stuff. But they don't have an occupying force there or structures or anything. So it really isn't theirs anyways. Team 2, they're getting a little bit more, out spread, especially on that northern side. Nothing really down the middle. And then really Oji has not had any opportunity to get back down here. But we have another set of megawatts inbound. This one's going to go on the hill, so it needs to go that way. And 1 megawatt is down finally for Team 2 to deal with. But there is that second one that's almost dead anyway, so essentially it's one after the other. And this one's going to drop below 4,000. We have T2 artillery shooting at it. Where are those? Oh, they're right there. We have miasmas shooting backwards, which is very, very interesting. Megawiths are coming up to say hi. They're not targeting why aren't they targeting stuff in front of their face? That's kind of weird. And Yoji is retreating again. Even if he dies, there's still 2 players here for Team 2, but we do have Ythotha moving into Ekotan's position. He's already been kicked in the teeth, and now he's just being, just kicked in the stomach now while he's lying on the ground trying to recover. And he doesn't have any upgrades on board. Very, very weak commander. I think Team 1 sees him because pings are going down with a red little icon. Gunships are inbound. Team 2 notices it. Oh, he's standing next to a Pija. Not the best place to stand. Oh, there he goes. Team 1 gets another kill. It's now 1v2. It's Team Iceball versus Team 2's faffing off and Yoji. And the chickens and the crabs are inbound. This one is dead. So we have 2 right here and then 2 right here with a lot of forces to protect them. A lot of AA, it looks like. And not a lot of bricks. Oh, there's a couple of bricks, but not a lot of them. Lots of Cougars and AA units, which is, again, what you want to do with an air player. But he's not just an air player now. He's an air and a land player. So you're going to have both. Lots of HP with these units. 50,000, 86,000, 10,000, 10,000. And that is it. Looks like, oh, there's one down here. This one's dropped into the red. 25,000. We do have a nice little donut, nice little czar being built. He might actually sit behind that. He does have to be careful because the last time he was in this engagement, he almost died. So he should be a little bit more hesitant. Does Team 1 know he's there? Nope. What does Team 2 see? This is what Team 2 can see. They have a little bit of vision dotted around the map, but not a whole lot. They're wiping out a lot more mexes, though. Team 1's dropped below 1,000 mass income. And Yoji actually does get hit by the they have to see him. No, they don't. Is he just... Wow, he is literally just tracking the common ground firing. That is impressive. Had no idea he was there. Wow, look at that. Like, just on point with those shots. Yoji drops below 12k. That means he needs 5 dual shots to kill him. There's another megalith here. The first one's about to go down. The chicken... they kill off the donut that's there. Yoji is still retreating. This megalith still going. This megalith stopped. It's dealing with a huge amount of harbingers. Probably not. I mean, it either does it or it doesn't. It does or it does not stop. Just because it's, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And chicken about going to get in the air grid. T3 land headquarters is, of course, up there, so that's going to be protected. So Team 2's Yoji will still have stuff. Nuke is possibly spotted for Team... Yep, they definitely see it. Oh, nope, there it goes. Yep. It's gone. And Megawith's still here. Megawith here. Looks like maybe trying to cut off Yoji. Maybe they thought he was going to go this way. He's going to go this way. That's a better point to be in because he can try to hide behind this mountain, kind of just hug it as much as possible. And that Megawith is down. This Megalith's about to go down. So many dead experimentals in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 megaliths in Yoji's base. Tons of reclaim on the map. Currently sitting at 900,000 mass. I say that very slowly because that's a lot of mass in reclaim. We're talking about totals accrued. Team 1, 3.8 million. Team 2, 3 million. So about 7 million between the two teams. Favored for Team 1. Octpuck's like, make Omni, make Omni. Looks like they lost Omni at some point. Harbinger's in the base here, once belonging to Mutulao. He has T3 land here, T3 air as well. I don't think that T3 air facility will last. Maybe the land will, if the Harbingers are given orders to go after this. And again, like I said, with the death of Ekotan, it's 2v1. Favor for Team 2. Another donut online. Another one, under construction. This one's almost done. Just donut, 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 donut. Death by 1,000 donuts, I guess. This donut's inbound. Look at all the red. Look at all the red numbers. All the reclaim. There's still reclaim over there. There's still these 2 donuts over here to reclaim. There's still those 2 donuts over there to reclaim. Iceball might just be suffering from, a lack of APM because he lost 2 players back to back. He still had a Scathis. It was taken out. He had a nuke that was taken out. He's just essentially death by 1,000 cuts there, just everywhere. And now he really only has 2 bases. He has his main one back here, his air grid, and then the Cybern one up front. Second Scathis has been started. It's halfway. I don't know if it's going to work that well. Yeah, this space would be a nice target. You kind of put in the middle. Salvation started. That's definitely, what's the word? Oh, shoot. Very bold of Yoji to go for it. Again, and he does have a lot of reclaim nearby, so there is that. He's probably just trying to spend it. Yeah, to some degree. He still has about 20-something thousand to really float, so he's fine. So if he doesn't want to build it right now, but he's probably, if I don't spend it, it'll stack up very quickly, and then I won't get it. So I think that's probably his thinking. Sam's is what Akbuk is thinking. He's worried about this avenue. He's pinging them. There's gunships there is probably what he's getting at. And yeah, Sam's side's everywhere. Very, very important because that AA has been very, very nice for Team 1. They killed off a couple of gunships earlier. There's a couple of donuts with them and the mobile ones as well. That fat boy probably won't last much longer. Spectres are going after it. ASF should be on station nearby to deal with that. And Okpuk's like, Sam's, build Sam's. And there is a tiny bit of AA on the fat boy, so it's not completely defensive when it comes to AA. And there's an engineer there, so don't know what the engineer's up to, but it's doing something. It was built off the fat boy. And there are a couple of ASFs. It's not going to be enough, though. The the fat boy will die. The ice cream sandwich will be eaten by the specters. Yep, there it goes. I was going to say it should be killed off. But here come the donuts. They're going to come this way. I mean, Team 2 has had success going this way, but there's a lot more AA and whatnot on that path that way. And they prepped that way. So there's that. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if Team 1 has enough to deal with the two donuts. Okpuk says move. And it might be death by donut. We have two more donuts in the background. We have a ton of Team 1 bombers, T2 gunships, and I think I saw there's a strat bomber mixed in there, so a bunch of stuff from Team 2's inbound. The donuts, I think, are waiting to group up with the other remaining forces, and then they're going to push in all at once. There's an Omni online. There's a Scathis right there. It's in the green now, but again, I don't know if that's worth it. He has Megawatts being built. Harbingers to deal with. Donuts to still reclaim. Look at all the reclaim. We saw 900,000. Now it's down to 700. So we have 170,000 mass that's been reclaimed in that time. Salvation's in the yellow. So there's that. How's his power? How's his... Hey, he's very negative. But again, he's just spending it as fast as possible. He has engineers. He has furs down here just carving a path northward. Trying to, again, close in on Team 1's main bases. Harbinger's killing off a couple more units in the mix, but that's not too crazy. A couple of AA going down. 4 donuts transferred over. 2 of them, I think, were Yoji's. 2 of them were faffing off. He's just constantly producing those things. Won't stop doing it. There's another one that's almost done. Because why not? And they haven't been given the order yet. 1 hour on the clock. It's officially an epic. They're going in for this base. They're ignoring this air grid because they know that Team 1's been building AA. They saw the spy planes fly overhead. Oh, nope, no. Maybe they'll go northeast. Who knows? GG says ice ball. He kind of knows the game's over at this point. This base is going to be wiped out. There really wasn't much there to begin with at this point anyway. Scathis is the only viable thing that Team 1 really has left, and even then, your cloak got me, says ice ball. I mean, yeah, but I mean, he was on his side of the map. He was really close to getting him, to be fair. So props to Iceball for being super close. Just wasn't enough. Needed a couple more shots and it would have been it. And granted, even if Yoji died, faffing off still exists, but there is an argument to be made at the early part in the game when it was, I think it was 3v3 at that point, may have made the difference with one player dead on Team 2 in that instance. Pigeon's going down. Another T3 air headquarters just in case. I love that. Putting it away from the air grid. This fat boy almost done. And faffing off. And Yoji win the base. Looks like Iceball. Control. They actually leave. Control K. Yep, there he goes. He's gone. The other two commanders for Team 2 are still there. So Team 2 wins the game. 1 hour, 1 minute, and 35 seconds on the clock. MVP. And I mean, it has to go to both players of both faffing off and Yoji just because they survived till the end. But I think, I mean, you got to give it to Faffing off. He was fueling a lot of that air experimental firepower for Yoji to move in and kill off. So that assistance was super, super good. And then, of course, we had Yoji. I think that first initial flyover, killing off a comm, wiping out the nuke, and a chunk of the air grade, that was very, very good. And then dealing with all of the land pressure, it almost got him, but it didn't. And then at that moment, first time, but definitely the second time for sure. Well, I'd say both times, but I think the first one maybe for sure, actually. Things definitely shifted. And again, with Velaron's Control K, and then Korn's death with that nice little turn right there. That was essentially the beginning of the end. Yes, the Scathis was online, but at that point, a lot of the base was already decimated. There really wasn't much left. And it was just a slow, just build, and then just crash on the team one and call it a day. I mean, sometimes it happens. You were in the lead for a very, very long time, and you just can't get the win. It just happens. It's unfortunate when it does, but it's just how the way it goes. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And again, thank you so much to the person who sent me this replay. Their name is down in the description of the video. And if you have a replay that you want to send me, please send it to me. strategiclaunchreplays@gmail.com. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will see all of you in the next one.